one of the things I love to do most with my family and friends is go to zoos and safaris. This is now our third safari in the last 2 years and our first time in Quebec. For day one, my best friends and I headed on over to Parc Omega, which is a drive-through safari. Throughout the drive, from the moment that you enter the trail, you will be greeted by different kinds of deers and elks, all waiting for you to feed them carrots. You can either bring your own or you can purchase them from the safari reception. We brought one bag with us, but we didn't expect it to run out so fast. Park Safari is home to approximately 700 to 800 wild animals representing more than 20 different species native to the Northern Hemisphere living across the park's 2,200 acres of protected natural habitat. Unfortunately, not all of the species showed up that day. As we drive along the trail, we see red deers, fallow deers, white-tailed deers, reindeers, elks, and wild boars. We also saw a moose, but I missed to take a picture of it. Further along, we saw a gaggle of Canada geese. They are not to be messed with, by the way. We often call them cobra chicken because they're crazy aggressive and attack without warning. And that's a beaver right there doing its thing with some barks and wood. Next up, bisons. They're actually one of my favorites in safaris. Their eyes look pretty docile, but they're incredibly athletic. They can jump up to 6 feet vertically from a standstill and can also run up to 35 miles per hour and pivot quickly and defend themselves. This one is an Arctic wolf, and the one that's about to come out, I think that one is a gray wolf. There's actually a lot of them in that area, but it's quite far for a good picture range. And that one is a mountain goat, and we saw quite a few over there. I think we also saw like an ibex. And finally, my favorite in this particular safari, the bears. Canada is home to nearly 60% of the world's bear population, so it's not a surprise that there's a lot of them here. They look very cute and playful from afar, but they're actually really massive up close, and they run so fast. There are also a few wolves in that area, so it's interesting to know that bears and wolves can live together. That's a wolf right there sleeping. Before heading out, we went back to the park's central log cabin hub to stretch out our legs in the observation deck. They have a beautiful scenic view of the lake, and there was also a mama bear with her cubs down below. In the same enclosure, there are also some very adorable Arctic foxes playing around. I learned that they are the only canine species to change camouflage color. Their fur transforms from pure white in the winter to a patchy brown and gray in summer. They are the ultimate cold weather survivors that don't shiver until temperatures drop up to negative 70 degrees Celsius. For day 2, we went to Aquarium du Québec. This is the deep sea pavilion where you can see and observe different varieties of jellyfish. I'm not overly fond of these guys, but having been stung before, but they do look very pretty. I find their movements quite hypnotic. So pretty. We also saw different species of seahorses. These ones right here are super tiny in person. I find it truly magnificent how they are the only species where the male seahorse is the one that gets pregnant and gives birth afterwards. And here we have different kinds of fishes. Next off, we have the very buoyant sea otters, the ultimate backstroke champions, just gliding, chilling, so effortless. Having the time of their lives. And here we have a harbor seal. Did you know that they can sleep while floating underwater and that they can also hold their breath for up to 30 minutes? That's crazy. One of the highlights for our kids was the interactive touch pool where visitors can touch the Atlantic stingrays. The way these fellows glide directly towards you and even lifting their heads up to be petted kind of reminded me of my dog. They'd act all excited and be all over you. And just like Parc Omega, Aquarium du Québec also has Arctic foxes. And here we have my very favorite, the polar bear. Their hair isn't actually white. Each hair is clear and hollow, like translucent, which scatters light and creates the appearance of a snowy coat. Beneath this thick fur, their skin is jet black to efficiently absorb heat from the sun. Okay, so we're ready to get back to civilization and join mankind once again. We're headed to the historic Petit Champlain district. And by the way, that vehicle in front of us is a three-wheeled motorcycle. There's a lot of that running around the roads of Quebec. It's very popular. We had lunch at one of the district's popular French bistro, Cochon d'Ong, which translates to the Crazy Pig. The food here is just divine. I would definitely go back in a heartbeat if given the chance. It's also just steps away from the popular tourist attraction, the Umbrella Alley, which showcases a canopy of 95 colorful floating umbrellas suspended above the cobblestone street. Now that we're full, it's time to walk off all that food and explore the streets of Quebec. This place is called Rue du Petit Champlain, the oldest commercial shopping street in North America. The narrow cobblestone street is lined with beautifully restored 17th and 18th century French stone houses. That church right there is the Notre Dame des Victoires Catholic Church, which is the oldest stone church in Canada, and it still retains its original walls. This massive realistic-looking mural up front is the La Fresque des Québécois. It is highly popular because it tells 400 years of Quebec City's history. Just a quick insert, we wanted to revisit the Fairmont-le-Château Frontenac, which is very near here, but we ran out of time. It's that castle-looking hotel right there, and this is the view from below. We visited it last winter, but we ran out of time today, so... But if you do visit Quebec sometime in the future, this should definitely go on the list. Now off to our last attraction for the day, the Sainte-Anne-de-Beaupré Shrine, which is dedicated to Saint Anne, the grandmother of Jesus. As a member of the Filipino community who are deeply rooted in Catholicism, being able to visit Saint Anne is a dream come true. It is the oldest pilgrimage site in North America and gets at least 500,000 visitors annually. It's globally renowned for its claimed miraculous healings, famously evidenced by the hundreds of crutches left on its pillars. The current Romanesque Revival Basilica features breathtaking stained glass windows, intricate mosaics detailing the life of Saint Anne, and a towering bronze statue of the saint just outside. This church is considered so historically significant that Pope Francis traveled here to celebrate an official papal mass in 2022. Finally, dinner time. No visit to Quebec is ever complete without having some poutine, which means a mess or mixture. The three main ingredients for this classic French-Canadian comfort dish are French fries, cheese curds, and gravy. We went to the globally famous Roy Jucep, who officially holds a legal Canadian trademark as the inventor of poutine. We've tried the classic poutine several times here in Toronto, so we opted to get an amped-up version which includes bacon, cooked onion, onion rings, and Memphis sauce, in addition to the basic ingredients of fries, cheese curds, and gravy. We also got their popular orange julep, which is a frothy, creamy hybrid between classic orange juice and a milkshake. For the last day of our Quebec weekend, we first went to see the beautiful mosaic sculptures of Parc Omega in Montreal. These are created by arranging thousands of different plants and flowers onto large metal frameworks. We are now headed to Old Montreal for our last Quebec attraction, the Montreal Museum of Archaeology and History. It is Canada's largest history museum and only major archaeological site museum. It doesn't just house historical objects, it is built directly on the exact birthplace of Montreal. So upon entering, you will be directed to a mini theater for a presentation of the city's history. What we are seeing right now are authentic, original stone and brick foundations from 1861. Further down the tour, you'll find a lot of displays of historical artifacts. This is the preserved first collector sewer. It was built between 1832 to 1838. It's the first stone masonry collector sewer ever built in North America. It was fully decommissioned in 1989. What we're seeing now are the original building posts of this building from when it stood back in 1667 to 1688, making it the rarest surviving organic remnants of Montreal's first generation of French settlement. Dinnerware through the ages, timeless. Finally, before we end the tour, more poutine in different variations. This famous salami and bologna sandwich, by the way, looks pretty basic, but it's heaven in every bite. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching.